My husband and I are expecting our first baby in a few months, and my sister-in-law offered to throw us a baby shower. I was really in love with the idea and accepted, and then my mother-in-law got involved. But my sister-in-law disrespected the one clear boundary I had regarding the baby shower, and she refuses to let it go despite being told by not only me but mother-in-law and my husband as well. She insisted that my half-siblings should be invited, as well as finding bio-family from both sides and inviting them. This is an absolute never thing for me. I did not invite them to my wedding, and I have not seen or spoken to them in several years. But she's going extremely hard on the "but family" argument. Background: I'm an affair baby. My father cheated on his wife and I was the result. His wife kicked him to the curb and he and my mother stayed together. I was born and they didn't take care of me. And as a toddler, I was removed from their care by CPS. None of my biological family wanted me. My mother's family were supposedly good Christians who couldn't stand the thought of an illegitimate affair baby, and my father's family were not in the position to take care of such a young child. My father's ex-wife ended up taking me. I'm not sure why. The fact she was paid to take care of me was possibly the reason. I do know that I wasn't loved. My half-siblings ranged from 11 to 17 at the time, and they all hated me. It was made perfectly clear to me from a young age that I was never to call her mom, and I was never to call them my brothers and sisters. My father's family was still in their lives and knew how I was treated, and they wouldn't even report it to my caseworker. I mentioned it once or twice, but she found it easier to dismiss a kid's words. My childhood was miserable, and I was seen as a burden and as someone who should never have been born. My half-siblings continued visiting their mom as adults, and all just made it clear they couldn't stand me and were disgusted by my presence. I just left when I was 16 and nobody reported me missing or came looking for me. My sister-in-law knows my background, and she knows that I would never want them in my life again. But she continued to push, and I spoke to my mother-in-law, and she tried to take over more, but sister-in-law insisted that she had offered first. When she brought it up again, I told her to cancel the shower, and I would rather have no shower than one thrown by her when she can't respect my boundaries. Mother-in-law stepped in and is now hosting one, but sister-in-law is angry because she'd spent a while planning and had paid for some stuff already. Mother-in-law said she'd give her the money back, but sister-in-law said I was wrong and should appreciate her for wanting to give me back my family. I told her I had no family until I met them, and she needed to accept that my blood relatives do not want me, and I do not want them. I know she keeps telling my husband how wrong I was, and he keeps defending me, but I feel bad about the tension now. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, the arrogance of your sister-in-law though. Imagine being that full of your own self-importance to directly go against your wishes because you think you know better. You only feel bad because you're guilting yourself about the situation. You have done nothing wrong. As someone who grew up with trauma, you will second-guess yourself so much. But your reaction is not wrong. Having boundaries is not wrong. What is wrong is not respecting the other person. And that is exactly what sister-in-law is doing. I'm really sorry, OP, but people who come from decent families can have absolutely no clue what it's like to come from a really bad one. That's true, but as someone who came from a decent family, I can still have empathy and not insert myself into a situation I don't have the experience or information to fix, because doing so would probably mess things up more than they would help. I feel this is basic manners. Just like you don't invite an ex to a baby shower, you don't invite family members the parents-to-be don't want there. This precisely. Sister-in-law is a real piece of work. The other part of this is that none of OP's family is going to accept the invitation to come to the shower. Sister-in-law is setting OP up to be rejected by them once again. Sister-in-law does not have good intentions here. Yeah, sister-in-law is a thoughtless idiot. The people who were in your early life are not your family. They didn't treat you like family or regard you as such. Your sister-in-law is selfish by not respecting your boundaries. Have serious words with her, especially regarding your child, because she may try to break more of them and maybe try to get those people to meet you and your baby behind your back. My brother got married a few years ago to Shelley. She's the type of person who will say something rude and then tell everyone it's true when someone points it out, so what's the harm? My mother despised her and opted out of most events just to avoid her. I moved back home about a year ago, and at the time I thought people were just being rude to her or overblowing the things she said. I was wrong. My first proper introduction to her, she told me my outfit looked terrible on me and it wasn't hiding my stomach. I gave a present for a birthday party and she told me I was cheap. I got a bubble gun for a 5-year-old and he loved it. This goes on and on. I talked to my brother and he told me she's autistic and she can't help it. I then talked to her and I told her I wouldn't put up with her being rude. Now it's my toddler son's birthday and I invite the family. I wouldn't have invited her, but I don't want to cause waves. She commented on my house decor and I told her it was rude and to knock it off. I lost it when I gave my son a piece of cake and she commented that I shouldn't give him any since he looks fat. I told her to apologize and she told me it was the truth. I told her that she was overweight, that if she took care of herself more she wouldn't be fat, that this was the truth and that she was rotten on the inside and her looks were just as bad. She ended up crying and leaving. My brother was angry and I was called some fun names. Everyone is torn about whether I should apologize or not. Am I the idiot for telling my sister-in-law that she was overweight and can deal with the truth? Not the idiot. Did your son hear her comment about not giving him cake because he looks fat? A comment like that can have a lasting effect on a child. My daughter, who's over 30 now, remembers a comment someone said about her looking fat when she was 8. She's never forgotten that comment. Having autism should not be an excuse for being rude and hurtful. Don't let her near your kids if she can't control her comments. I might get some flack for this, but not the idiot. If she truly lives by the mantra, well, it's true, then she should learn to eat her words. Why is it okay for her to act this way to everyone around her, but the second it's thrown back at her, you're the bad guy? She called your son fat, stating it's the truth. You responded that she's also fat, which is probably the truth. Don't dish it if you can't take it, in my opinion. Time and a place and being the truth doesn't make it okay. This really feels like an I'm brutally honest, just deal with it kind of cop-out to act erroneously like an unfettered idiot, which is not an excuse. I'd be surprised if this girl is actually genuinely autistic. Don't apologize, OP. The gloves are off when a grown adult talks smack about an innocent child like that. Your brother is a major idiot for enabling her and letting her insult your child. Don't throw stones when you're in a glass house. I definitely wouldn't invite her to future events. She has no care for others' feelings and no one will care for hers. My girlfriend and I have been together for under 2 years. Things have been going well, I think. Her roommate has moved out of state and now my girlfriend needs a place to stay temporarily. We both live and work in a fairly large city, i.e. it's not easy to find affordable arrangements. My place is pretty spacious, yes, however it's just not suitable for anything more than one person. My uncle gave me this loft and the 50% of assets he didn't donate to charity and was a bachelor all his life, which is the intended use for the space. If I had to pay for a similar space in this part of the city, it would be $5,000 or $6,000 plus rent, i.e. 30–35% of my pre-tax pay, so I don't want to move anytime soon. If you don't know what a loft is, my bedroom is on another floor from the living room, kitchen area, but there's no physical wall between them. This means you can literally hear everything. Great for living by myself, not tolerable with anyone else long term. That would mean I can't play on my PC in the bedroom late at night or watch TV in the living room. If you wake up in the middle of the night and want a quesadilla, you can smell what's being cooked in the kitchen and hear the blower. There's also very little privacy anywhere besides the bathroom. I'm sure there are some entire families living in arrangements like this, but there are also families living in huts or closet apartments in Hong Kong. My girlfriend would have to commute 70 to 80 minutes to get here from her parents' house. However, she assured me that she would only need 3 months to find a place, so it's not as if that would be a long-term situation. There are plenty of people who commute every day. It's no big deal. I really don't think she has any reason to be so upset with me about not wanting to do this. Am I the idiot? So, you're unwilling to inconvenience yourself for just a few months so your girlfriend doesn't have to commute for hours daily. I assume you'll still expect her to come by for intimacy, after you finish gaming, of course. If she were a friend with benefits, my vote would be not the idiot. As she's your girlfriend of 2 years, I think she should dump you. You are the idiot. 2 years is usually when most couples are talking about moving together. But my quesadilla and my PC gaming, oh, you don't mind those, but girls are icky. Jesus, real boyfriend material right there, he sure is. Yeah, got a girlfriend for almost 2 years now, things are going great. She needs a place to stay and asked if she could move in with me temporarily, but what if it's midnight and I want a quesadilla? I can't just make one. Not to worry, she will soon be his ex-girlfriend. But hey, he'll be able to make quesadillas whenever he wants, so who needs a girlfriend, right? Right. Opie is a loser and his girlfriend needs to run. Dude, we get it. You aren't really into your girlfriend and don't care if she has to commute over an hour every morning and evening, so long as you can play games at night. Why haven't you broken up with her already? You clearly have no intentions of ever marrying her or moving in with her. You're just stringing her along. My parents divorced when my 3 siblings and I were teens. My mum found herself pregnant with a surprise baby as I turned 16. I moved in with my dad and so did my brother, who was 13 then. Mom gave birth to Jenny, now 19, with 2 children of her own. Jenny never moved out and my mom babied her and her 2 children. We tried to plan lunches or holidays with my mom, but first she was always watching Jenny, who would have to come along, then later with the babies, as my mom called them. Back in March, my mom was killed in a car crash. She had no will and Jenny tried to take the home my mom got in my parents' divorce that our dad, still alive, put a down payment on. The house and assets were given to all 5 of us. If Jenny wanted to continue living there, she'd have to buy 4/5 of the shares out. She's a teenager with poor credit, so it wasn't possible. She dragged her feet on the sale and moved, forcing my other sister to get an eviction notice on Jenny. That dragged on and we all want the whole episode behind us as a family. The house is going on the market. Jenny has repeatedly cried on TikTok and GoFundMe about her evil step-siblings, again half-siblings. We gave her months to figure out a plan after my mom's death and we tried to work with her to see if she could buy the house. She's still getting her share of the sale and that's money in her pocket to get a new place. She's going around to her mutual aunts and grandfather making it sound like we're here and we're making her and the babies homeless. That's not true and she's getting a cut of everything just the same as us. Not the idiot. She got spoiled by your mom, was allowed to be irresponsible and now has to deal with the repercussions of your mom's enabling. That's not your problem. It's time she grew up. There are services she could reach out to for help, and her portion of the house sale will also be there for her. Also, sorry for the loss of your mom. How was Jenny babied? She was living with her mother at 19, which is pretty normal. Healthy families don't throw their children out as soon as they hit 18. Most leave the nest on their own. Opie is making them homeless. Most 19-year-olds with little to no credit or rental history will struggle to get a lease without a guarantor, and Jenny now has an eviction on her record. There's no way she's getting an apartment, and she may not even be aware of that yet. She has 2 kids by age 19, and her mom was raising her and those kids. Jenny wasn't taught to be self-sufficient from the sounds of it. Having 2 kids by 19 was stupid. She needs to grow up, take her share, and put it to good use. And Opie isn't making her homeless. She has time to find herself a place to live. Rather than whine on TikTok, she should make a plan as to what the heck she's going to do for the rest of her life. This 19-year-old with 2 kids and grieving her mother can't just move into a bedroom, and with no more than an HS degree and probably not even a car, it will be near impossible to find a job that pays enough to cover childcare for 2 children. She's probably going to be homeless. If she can't find a family shelter, CPS is probably going to take away the kids. In my opinion, at 35 years old, Opie would be an idiot if she didn't help her half-sister sign up for social services and try to find a family shelter. She might need a ride to get there. Opie, maybe your mom babied her and neglected you, but that's your mom's fault, not hers. I mean, I guess legally you're in the clear, but morally, dude, you completely screwed her. You are the idiot. I think there were steps along the way to at least try instead of taking the anger you feel about your mom out on Jenny. I've been married to my husband for 3 years now. He has 1 son. The boy's mother can't stand me. She hates that their father has found someone after 5 years of being divorced. Anyway, because of that, my stepson Jack and I don't have the best relationship. I'm not involved in his life because that's the way he and his mother want it. He won't speak to me when I try to converse, so I just don't bother anymore. I've offered to do things for him, but his mother always says she doesn't want that woman involved. To keep the peace, I stay out. Now Jack and I are both musicians. I play several brass and wind instruments as well as guitar. He's joined the band this year as a 9th grader. Naturally, he wants to play jazz guitar. His mother knows I have several instruments, and I offered one of the lesser value guitars to him, but he and his mother want my 1963 Fender. Absolutely not. For one, he doesn't take care of anything he has, and number 2, why am I going to loan something that valuable out to someone who doesn't want to be around me? Sure, the guitar is worth way more, but I got a deal on it for $3,000. My husband says I'm right for not doing it, and he says I shouldn't even offer the old Squire guitar either, and it's only $250. His mother has been blowing up our phones, calling me every name in the book because I'm driving a wedge in his and his father's relationship. How is that so? She says I should try making amends and let him borrow it for the school year. Why am I having to make amends? She even had her friends harass me on Facebook. She claims I ruined his freshman year for band and I need to make it right. Am I the idiot for refusing to let my stepson borrow my $3,000 guitar for school? Not the idiot. 100% Mom wants to steal that guitar, sell it, then try to say the kid lost it and make you feel bad if you try to get reimbursed. I don't know why she would push so hard for this otherwise. OP better lock that guitar and any other instruments away. I can see the kid going and destroying it all out of spite. For real, the kid will go from high school jazz club to wannabe rock star and smash that guitar like he's Jimi Hendrix, then put the video on TikTok to show off to his 10 followers. I'm relieved that OP's husband is on her side. There are just too many stories about the spouse being the biggest problem. The only person driving a wedge between father and son is the son's mother. She sounds like an awful, entitled old boot. OP, you're genuinely not the idiot. I wouldn't have even offered the Squire if he's that rude to you. Keep your guitar safely under lock and key too now. I can see it going missing if you're not vigilant.